Um, let's talk about my favorite person. Hello, darlings, and welcome to Take Care, Darling. It's me, Care Darling, and today we're talking about what is happening with Funny Girl. Now, I want to be transparent and say the only reason I think a lot of people have come to this channel is based on my 2 previous videos on Lea Michele, and it's because there's 2 types of people. There's people that are more focused on her talent and how great she is, and then there's the other extreme that thinks that she's a terrible person and that she's horrible. So comments have been very interesting on those videos. So in my last video about her, I said I didn't want to do a dramatic confrontational video, and I meant it. What brought me here today was some of the comments that had a different take, and I took it to heart. Not the aggressive comments, although I have to say some of them made me laugh, and I do need to address something. Her name is Lea, not Lee. I'm grateful when others have a different perspective than my own because I don't want to be in an echo chamber. And there was one comment that I took to heart. And the comment, more like a question, was, what does Lea need to do in order for you to feel that she has taken accountability? And my answer is time and action. How long has it been, and what have they done since that time? I decided to watch Lea in interviews after her opening night. Yes, I did watch a couple clips, and to be honest, I knew I had to wait at least a month because of the applause. It's not what you think. It's opening night, so you know that the applause is coming from family, friends, and super fans, which if you want anybody to go to your show, of course, you want people to come that love and support you. If people don't care for you, why would they spend tons of money to go see you in a show, especially if it's your opening night? When the clip first came out of her singing Don't Rain on My Parade, I was more distracted by the applause because it felt like she was getting a golden sticker. Every time she would growl in the song or held a long note, people were cheering. And again, it's opening night, so of course there's a lot of her loved ones that are cheering her on, and that's a good thing. But for me personally, I knew if I wanted to see what she brought to the role, so I knew I just needed to give it time and to not watch her perform something that was on the opening night. I think we can argue that the applause is what propelled her, and listen, the applause is wonderful, but I felt, and this is again my opinion, that the applause actually was taking away from the performance, because I was finding myself reacting to the people cheering versus watching what she was doing. Okay, now you might be wondering, what gives you the authority to judge someone's performance? I can sit here and go through my credentials about where I studied and who I worked with, but I hate when someone says, I have a theater background, because to me, it doesn't matter if you studied it or if you did it. It's art, and everyone can have a different perspective and how they felt about someone's performance.
Oh, and what? And what were you going to say? Okay, musical theater. Oh no. What have the dark Lord wrought?
When it comes to musical theater, I enjoy listening to other people's perspectives. Not that I think that they're correct and they're wrong. It's a learning experience. If you're in theater and in musicals and you come in saying, I'm done, this is all set, don't need to work on it anymore, there's something wrong, because there's always something to learn about your character, whether it comes from yourself or it comes from a partner within the scene. And if we really do believe, hey, we did this musical, it's done, it's set, why do we do revivals? Why do we keep doing these pieces? And it's because it can actually be a constant learning tool and opening up different avenues of maybe we never thought of it in this way. So that's something exciting to me. Due to some of the comments on my channel, I decided to go ahead and rewatch the 2 videos to see if I changed my mind, and the answer is no. In fact, I want to put this clip in because some of the comments I just want to put this clip in. She has a great voice. That girl has talent. Can she play that role? Absolutely. We saw it. We saw her do it. She's absolutely amazing. But then now it's tainted because of her diva antics. And again, I say diva antics, and that is the nicest way to say she was Funny Girl's getting a lot of press out of this, but is this actual good press or not? But I guess it's like it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, at least we're being talked about. And I think people will buy tickets just to see Lea Michele perform, but it might not be to support and love her. It's just to see, finally, you got it, girl. Let's see how you do with it. And I do think that she's actually going to be spectacular at it. It just sucks that it feels tainted. And this was my first video on Lea. What I kept repeating in both videos, and I still feel to this day, is that I have a hard time separating the artist from the character. Now, that just might be me, and that's what I said I'm struggling with, is that when I look at the character Fanny Brice, I can't unsee Lea Michele. The character I'm referring to is Fanny Brice. Now, let's be very clear that the story, Funny Girl, was geared around Barbra Streisand. The true story of Fanny Brice is actually way more scandalous, and the storyline romanticizes the life of Fanny Brice and Nikki Arnstein. Funny Girl was the musical that propelled Barbra Streisand into stardom. Now, something I thought about was Barbra Streisand also had diva antics, and we don't necessarily talk about it because there was no internet back then, but I bet that she would get some tweets about her diva antics. In fact, because of her diva antics, no one was hiring Barbra, so it caused her to start creating movies of her own that she starred in, for example, Yentl. Something similar to Lea's current story was when Gene Kelly was the one that cast Barbra Streisand to be Dolly in Hello, Dolly, and that had backlash. People felt that she shouldn't be rewarded a great part because of her diva antics, also with the opinion that they felt that Dolly Levi should be older, and that's due to the legacy of Carol Channing and what she brought to the role on Broadway. Yet here we are today not caring about any of Barbra's diva antics, and we focus purely on her talent. And I feel that's exactly what's going to happen with Lea Michele. Lea Michele unfortunately caught COVID right after her opening night, but recovered and was able to talk about the show. Can we also take a moment to acknowledge Julie Benko? This woman has been the glue to this show staying together, whether it was because Beanie wasn't well and she came in, and she also took over the show when Lea was about to come on. Lea does one performance and literally boop, Benko's back. Some of the cast members also caught COVID, and other swings came in. So bless you, swings, and bless you, Julie Benko. Now, when I went to go watch a couple of Lea's interviews, I was looking to see how she has grown as a person, because she can't establish that on stage. And also, when you read someone's statements, it's different than just listening to them. After watching multiple interviews, I learned something. I think her power number is 6. Her opening night was on September 6th. She had 6 standing ovations. She's 36. When she was first introduced to Funny Girl while performing in Spring Awakening, it was 2006. And when she first recorded Don't Rain on My Parade for Glee, it hit number 6 on iTunes charts. When listening to her, in her own words, she was saying, "I'm so glad that my dreams were delayed." And I agree with her because of her becoming a wife and a mother. Again, her words, she knew exactly who Fanny Brice was in Act 1, but it took her time to understand who is she in Act 2. Listening to her sing, her voice even has matured, and it is gorgeous. Hello, gorgeous. So yeah, okay, the first act, it's all about the blinders being on, being focused, going career driven. I'm the greatest star. That is the want of Fanny Bryce. And it's very similar to how Leah felt for herself and her career. And act 2 was about being married, being a mother, and trying to focus more on the family, but still going on stage and doing the thing you love. Not only do I think that her voice has matured, but I do think she has matured as a person. Something I noticed in the interviews was she was talking about the cast more than I remember in her early interviews. And maybe it's because this was a lesson learned that, people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. I know it's a cliche, but it absolutely works, right? So does this mean I changed my mind about Leah? No, but I will say I have more compassion towards her and sympathy about the situation she was in. I still have my own opinions, but I do think it is best to let it go and for us to give her the time to show us she did learn something. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that's what's important. Well, that's it for today's episode, darlings. I would love to know what your opinion and take is on this. What is it that you might need to feel that Leah is accountable for her diva antics? Or are you just like, can we just let it go and just enjoy the show? I will say there will be another video on Lea Michele, but it is to look at what I think she brought to the table as Fanny Bryce and how I feel she can actually elevate the role. Also, the main question I still have to this day is Lea Michele funny? So if you like that, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, without further ado, take care, darling.